Welcome to Election Night on ICTV. While the presidential race is on the mind of many voters tonight, there are some contested races in the Senate that could have major implications for the next few years. Here to break it all down for us is ICTV's Michael Memis. So, Michael, right now Republicans have control of the Senate. What would it take for Democrats to gain control?
Well, that's right, Maddie. Currently, Republicans would have a 53-seat majority in the Senate, meaning Democrats would need to flip 4 seats to gain control. There are some big races across the country that could determine which party has control for the next 2 years. Now, let's look at some of them. So, two likely Democratic pickups are in Colorado and in Arizona. Arizona, a special election. Colorado, it's just a regular election. John Hickenlooper likely to be Cory Gardner. Then after that, it gets a little bit tricky. The two most likely Democratic pickup states after that are in Maine, where it's the last Republican senator in New England, Susan Collins, is projected to lose to Sarah Gideon. And then you also have the race in North Carolina, Tom Tillis against Cal Cunningham. Tom Tillis, the Republican incumbent. Cal Cunningham expected to beat him. So that's 51 seats for the Democrat. But the Democrats are going to lose Alabama likely. Doug Jones polling over 10 points behind Tommy Tuberville. So then after that, there are a couple of races. You got Iowa, you got Joni Ernst, the Republican incumbent, against Teresa Greenfield. And it's kind of been neck and neck the entire time of who's going to win. Right now, Ernst projected to win by a little bit, but it's very close. You also got the Georgia elections. You got a regular election, John Ossoff, their Democratic challenger, against David Perdue. That one's been very close. You got the special election, likely not going to be decided today, but Raphael Warnock he's polling around 40%, and he's going to have a Republican challenger, either Kelly Loeffler or Doug Collins. We're not sure who, but the runoff would be on January 5th if no candidates get 50%. And then you also have Montana, Steve Daines, Bullock, the former governor of Montana. Steve Daines, the incumbent senator in Montana. Daines is polling a few points ahead of Bullock, but it's anyone's race still. And if Democrats are doing very good, they could get states like South Carolina or Alaska, or even Texas or Kansas, but those are kind of more remote possibilities, same as with the Republicans in Michigan. Really, their only pickup state is Alabama. They perform really good in the Rust Belt. Maybe they get Michigan. It's Gary Peters against John James. But it did seem a little bit improbable a little bit ago that Democrats could take the Senate, but it's definitely a possibility tonight. Republicans looking to try to keep control, though. It's a very important thing to them. They already don't have the House, and the presidency we still don't know, obviously, but we want to have at least one chamber in that branch.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Michael. And we'll be keeping an eye on all of those races and the status of those races throughout the night. Welcome back. We are joined now by national analyst Michael Memis, who is giving us a look on the Senate races going on right now. Michael?
Well, we got a couple of results in, a lot of votes reported, not all 100% yet, but so far there's some significant results in Colorado. John Hickenlooper, who is expected to take Cory Gardner's seat, currently winning by about over 20%, about 45% of that vote is in, so still a long ways to go. In Kentucky, a seat that was expected to be retained by the Republicans, despite Democrats definitely wanting that seat, Mitch McConnell, he's leading by over 20% against Amy McGrath, and that one has over 80% reported. Next, you got Michigan. It's 11% reported. John James has a big lead so far, but it should get tighter as it goes on. Gary Peters is expected to win, but long way to go as well in that state. Kansas, a state that Republicans were expected to win, but it is close right now with 28, 29% reported. It's 48 to 47 about. If Barbara Boyer does win, she would be the first Democratic senator in Kansas since 1939, which would be a crazy feat, although it is expected that that Republicans will maintain that seat. North Carolina, a key seat for Democrats to win if they want to have a chance of taking the Senate. 60% reported. Cal Cunningham, the Democratic challenger, leading Tom Tillis by just under a point. And then we have in South Carolina, a seat the Democrats also wanted to take. Lindsey Graham is leading by over 10 points, 41% reported, so a long way to go there as well. In Texas, John Cornyn, another possible Democrat pickup, but not a likely one. He's leading Mary Hager by 6 points, 51 to 49. And that's really all. A lot of Georgia has a couple early results, but it's really not enough to say to kind of predict anything. But definitely very close in both races. Although looks like Ossoff is losing by a good amount to Purdue, but it's a little while to go.
All right, thanks so much, Michael, and we'll be checking in with him later to see some updates on those Senate races. All right, thanks so much, Cameron. And now switching gears to some national races. Joining us now to discuss the state Senate is our
Well, we got a lot more votes in and votes reported so far, and right now, Colorado looks to be a Senate seat that the Democrats will pick up. Arizona looking good as well, up by Mark Kelly up by 10 with 72% reported. North Carolina is very close, within 1%, and almost all the vote has been reported. However, there are some outstanding ballots left that could be mailed in before the 12th and could shift the results of this election. And then you also have in Alabama, it looks like Doug Jones will lose his seat. So right now, Democrats have a gain of one, assuming they do win Arizona, and we have a lot of results to go and a lot more votes to be reported.
All right, thanks so much, Michael. And we'll be back in just a few minutes with our correspondents with some local race updates and a look at the status of some tight swing states in the presidential election. Welcome back to Election Night. You are looking live at the United States Capitol building. With updates on congressional races, let's now bring in our analyst, Michael Memis. Michael, will Democrats remain in control of the House?
Yes, they will. Democrats are projected to maintain control of the House and possibly even gain a few seats, but a lot of races still to decide. Meanwhile, with the Senate, you have Arizona. It looks like the Democrats are going to win. Meanwhile, Iowa, it's 82% reported, and Joni Ernst does have a slight lead, about a little over 2.5 points. Maine, Susan Collins leads by 10 points, but it's only half the state has been reported. Michigan, John James does lead by 11 points, which would be a big upset, but also a lot of votes haven't been counted yet. North Carolina, Tillista leads. Montana, it's pretty early, but Bullock does lead slightly. And Hickenlooper has been declared the victor in Colorado. And in Kansas, Roger Marshall won, which is kind of expected. And a lot of more results to go. Democrats still have a shot of control of the Senate, but a couple more races to be decided. And Warnock and Loeffler in the runoff. That's all. And the runoff for Georgia is going to be on January 5th. So that could decide the Senate.
All right, thanks so much, Michael.